A lot of people think Japan is a closed society because it is linguistically quite closed and they're also ethnocentric. So they're right about that part. But I'm going to make the case today that Japan is actually one of the most open societies on earth. And I'll use 4 pillars of things that we think are Japanese to do this. Let's go with religion, writing, ramen, and efficiency. Japan has 2 major religions, that is Shinto, the indigenous religion, and Buddhism, which they very willingly picked up from India. And these things are only really separate in theory. In practice, they're kind of lived symbiotically and together. So Shinto Buddhism is very heavily Indian influenced. Next up, we have their writing. Japan contacted China in a serious way. I think it was the Han Dynasty. And the Han Dynasty wrote some somewhat nasty things about Japan, about how it's a barbaric and backward society. And so Japan ended up adopting a lot of the values from China. And one of the more practical things that they adopted was the writing system. That's why the Japanese to this day use Chinese characters. Number 3, ramen. I hate to break it to you, but this one's Chinese as well. This comes from the Chinese wheat noodle dish, la mian. And it's just literally the same name. I think this one's quite new. It's like 200 years old in Japan. So another Chinese one. Number 4, efficiency in business and life. This is also something the Japanese adopted from Europe during the Meiji Restoration, where they were scared of being colonized and they sent teams of people to Europe, particularly Germany, but also to other countries, to learn how these countries practiced industrialism. And then Japan ended up arguably doing it better than everyone else. So yes, Japan is closed linguistically and they're ethnocentric, but I'd argue the reason that they're able to do those things is because whenever they're presented with a challenge from the outside world, they've been some of the quickest people to adapt and take on those challenges and change their society in radical ways so that they can continue to be Japanese, whatever that means. Anyway, I'm just spitballing here. Feel free to disagree. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments.